she could react. But there was nothing threatening, nothing. She just asked him to leave the premises. You can come back tomorrow, but you can't have this kind of behavior. Thank you, sir. And it was always, sir. Please, thank you, and sir.
It goes a long way.
Yeah.
Like, I respect you as a person. I really appreciate you respecting me and everyone around this. Speaking of respecting ourselves, no, I tried to make the segue.
We're ready.
Let's go ahead and start off on our backs. So whatever props feel appropriate for you, if you want to support your needs. And if there's anything touching, we can slide it out of the way, giving our brains one less thing to have to process. As we settle in, find that space that feels comfortable, a phrase that you're going to hear quite a bit today. We allow the eyes to gently close. Just tuning into what's happening in the space around us. Once we take out the vision, noticing what we can hear, the smell of the space, the temperature of the room. As we acknowledge the things that are happening in the space around us, we allow it to slowly begin to fade into the background like the blurry part of the picture. Not ignoring it, rather allowing our attention to move elsewhere as we begin to scan the body from the crown of the head all the way down to the soles of the feet, noticing, how does my body feel right now? Exploring not only the muscles and the joints, but also the belly and the head. Acknowledging our current physical state. Can we feel the ground underneath us? All those points from the back of the head down to the backs of the heels that are in contact with the mat or the earth. Allowing every exhalation to make the backside of our bodies even heavier. And we begin to notice the breath. Acknowledging how fast or slow each breath is passing, how deep or shallow. Are we breathing into the belly or into the chest? We allow our bodies to lengthen the breath, imagining breathing into the belly. Using every exhalation to embody a greater sense of heaviness, of softness, of relaxation into our bodies. Throughout our practice, we'll use the breath as a docking point, as a place to focus our awareness. And then at times we'll start to notice the thoughts. So in this moment, we begin to notice, what are we thinking about? What is on your mind in this moment? Noticing if it feels like 100 thoughts passing by all at once. Or if the mind is calm and quiet, or anywhere in between. And noticing how we feel emotionally in this moment. Even if we don't have the exact words, we notice the feeling. Once again, our goal is awareness. So whatever we find mentally, whatever we find emotionally, physically, we meet it with a sense of compassion. Letting go of any sense of judgment or expectation. And understand that even that sense of letting go, sometimes it's easier than others. So we still practice patience with ourselves. And then we slowly start to take a nice deep inhalation through the nose. And sighing it out of the mouth. That'll be our cue throughout the class, so we're going to change into the next posture. So to begin, if you have those blocks nearby, you can grab hold of those as we bend into the knees, bring the soles of the feet together. Letting the knees open wide for Supta Baddha Konasana, recline downward pose. And you can place those blocks under your knees wherever feels good so that your body feels supported. With each posture, the only correct variation is the one that feels good in your body. So we take whatever micro adjustments we need to at the very beginning. Finding that space where we can allow our bodies to settle into the greatest ease. As we surrender into the stillness, we notice how the breath is impacted. Beginning going to count each exhalation from 1 up to 10, and starting back at 1. If you find your mind wandering off, gently encourage it back onto the breath. Continuing to count the exhalations. Slowly taking a deep inhalation through the nose, sighing it out of the mouth. Using the hands will help to close the knees and center. Making our way into a reclined twist. Let's scoot the hips over to the left side of your mat. As we allow the knees to fall over to the right, you're welcome to place a block between your knees, under your knees, and trying out both. Seeing what feels good in your body in this moment. And once we find that, we start to invite a sense of softness into the inner thighs. Relaxing those muscles around the hips and the shoulders. From the body, we pass into the breath. Noticing if the breath has changed. And then resuming our deep, slow breathing. this time. As we count the exhalations, we start at 10, counting down to 1, and starting again at 10. Begin to inhale deeply through the nose and sighing it out of the mouth. Carefully begin to bring the knees through center as we scoot the hips over towards the right side of your mat, letting the knees fall to the left. And knowing that this is a separate side of our bodies, we explore just as we did on the first, finding the variation that feels best in this part of your body. We notice how the twist makes our body feel. We notice our breath in this posture. As we allow our awareness to settle in on the breath, we move away from the numbers, the counting, and beginning to notice the warmth of each exhalation as it passes across the upper lip. That slight coolness at every inhalation. Experiencing the sensation of breathing. inhaling deeply through the nose and sighing it out of the mouth. And as we come back into center, you can move your prop off to the side. And then let's roll all the way over, coming onto our bellies. And as we do so, we'll lift that left knee up so it's in line with our hip, like you're making a 90-degree angle with your leg. If you want to modify this posture, you can take the right arm under the left if you feel like you need a little bit opening around the shoulders, or make a pillow with your arms. But as we make our way from the body into the breath, this time, we start to notice the thoughts. As though we're standing on the top of a mountain, watching the clouds pass by. We notice each one's shape, color, size, and uniqueness. But ultimately, both the clouds and our thoughts will continue to pass by, allowing us the opportunity to wait for the next. Again, watching and observing. Taking our deep inhalation through the nose and sighing it all out of the mouth. We can slowly start to make our way out of that side, finding the same posture on the other side. Especially in these postures that have two sides. Approach each one with a sense of curiosity. Wondering, how can I make this feel better in my body? We can see, feel, touch the physical body, making it the easiest access point to what lies deeper. So as you find that sense of heaviness, the steadiness of the breath, we can begin to tune into the thoughts once again, as though you're watching from a third-person perspective. Experiencing the film reel of your mind unfolding behind your eyelids. Deeply inhale and exhale, pressing it all out. need to extend the right leg back behind us. And in your time, we'll make our way into child's pose. If you need a little extra cushion, you can double your mat over. You're welcome to use your blocks under your hips. And these can be as wide as you need them. Maybe the big toes touch behind us. Maybe they don't today. Asking ourselves, is there anywhere in my lower body, anywhere in my hips that I can relax? Feeling the heaviness of our bodies interact with gravity. As we're here in this protected posture, we begin to tune into the emotion. Not only asking ourselves what we feel in this moment, but we can also begin to notice if those emotions are tied to the thoughts that are playing in your mind in this moment. There's no right or wrong answer. If it's a yes or a no, they are related. But the only way to know is to watch. Just like in a relationship, we don't fully open up ourselves, make ourselves vulnerable, unless we know that we are safe, unless we know that we're not being judged. In that same manner, whatever we find in our minds, whatever we find in our emotional selves, we find it with a sense of acceptance, a sense of understanding that we are human beings. Take our deep inhalation through the nose and sighing it out of the mouth. And as you're ready, we can walk the hands in, coming up to all fours for just a moment. Making our way onto our bums. And as we get ready to come onto our backs, let's make sure we have our blocks or bolster in the bottom. Let's come down onto our backs, preparing for supported bridge pose. So whether you have the block or your bolster, we'll place it right underneath that little triangle part of your lower back. Trying to allow as much of our hips to be resting on that prop as you can. So if you feel like your butt is hanging off one side or the other, you can adjust it. Using our props to help create the support that we need in our bodies. You're welcome to take whatever leg position feels good. Maybe walking the feet wider, the knees fall in. You can straighten the legs out long if you need to. And again, we start by focusing on the breath. And if a thought grabs hold of your attention, you become aware of what the thought is. Not only the general idea, but what sounds, smells, and temperature, how does the thought impact our senses? more deep inhalation through the nose. Exhaling through the mouth. And let's press into the feet, lifting the hips off of your prop and sliding it off to the side. We'll end as we began, finding our Shavasana. Again, if there's anything touching you, feel free to move it out of the way. While we're here in this final restorative pose, we'll begin to do an incremental relaxation of our bodies. So as we allow ourselves to remain in stillness, we bring softness to each and every toe on the feet, relaxing the soles of the feet and the ankles. Finding softness in the calves and the shin. Releasing any effort in the muscles around the thigh, in and around the hips. As we notice the softness of the low back, the mid and the upper back. Acknowledging the gentle rise and fall of the belly and or the chest. Letting go of any tension we may be holding in the fingers, the palms, and the wrists. Allowing that softness to travel up the forearms, through the upper arms, all the way up to the shoulders. As though each and every muscle is melting down to the ground. As we relax the throat, relaxing the jaw. Letting the tongue flow freely in the mouth away from the root. As we smooth out the wrinkles across the bridge of the nose, the brow, and across the forehead. Allowing that sense of warmth and softness to travel from the crown of the head all the way down to the soles of the feet. We are relaxed. As we continue to lay here in stillness, we begin to take one final check, noticing how are we in this moment emotionally? How are we mentally? You don't have to completely unpack what we found, analyzing and processing it. Rather, our goal is to just take note, saving that information for another time. Noticing how our bodies feel, the muscles, the joints, our belly, and our head, just as we did at the beginning of our practice. And then slowly we start to bring movement back into our fingers and toes, circling through the wrists and the ankles. And on our inhale, reaching the arms and legs nice and long for a big stretch. Exhale the knees into the chest as we roll onto our right side, pausing in fetal position for a moment. Reminding ourselves of 2 or 3 things that you're grateful for in your life right now. People, experiences, pets, opportunities, no matter how big or small. Using that to remind ourselves that no matter what happens, no matter how overwhelming things may seem at times, we always have the things that we can be grateful for in our lives if we take the opportunity to notice and acknowledge them. So as you are ready, we can slowly press up to a comfortable seated position, whatever that looks like in your body. Feel free to keep the eyes closed if you like, or gently looking down to your nose. And as we sit up nice and tall, we'll bring the hands to heart center, letting the thumbs rest on our breastbone. Thank you all so very much for coming in and practicing with me and each other this evening. Have a great rest of your weekend. Stay safe, healthy, and happy. And I'll see you all next time. Namaste. Happy Friday. See you. You can take that and wherever you go. That's my gift to you.